Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob, and welcome back to the Uplift the Gamer podcast. This is take two. Hopefully, only a take that we need. Braden, welcome back.
Thank you.
Ian, welcome back again.
Thank you.
And we have Dylan on the line, but he's doing something else at the current moment. He'll hopefully be with us soon. Today's topic is the Game Awards, and if we truly need them anymore. I have my own personal opinions. I said them in the previous take, but I didn't let you guys talk, which is why we're on take number 2. So, Ian, let's start with you. I want to get your opinion first.
Okay.
What do you
I
think?
think that Game Awards are definitely necessary. And I think that because I think it's a great way to highlight the highest moments of the year in gaming. There's not one collective space where a bunch of gamers get to watch and see, oh, this game looks pretty good, or there's not a space where we can like kind of highlight the best achievements, especially for little games like the Indie Game Awards.
Yeah.
I think like introducing that, getting people to like maybe buy the game, be like, oh, well, that just won the award, maybe I'll check that out. I think it promotes a lot of talking points in the gaming industry. It's just a fun place to, tune into, see what wins, and then maybe you get enticed to say like, hey, maybe I want to check this game out, and then you play it and you support gaming. So I think, yeah, they're definitely necessary.
And you make some good points there, and I have some actually good counterpoints in the decent one too. But Braden, let's get your opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't necessarily think they're necessary, but if you're gonna have something like the Oscars, I think it's fair to present like the best of the best and like give developers an incentive to make their game like hit as wide of an audience as possible.
Actually
So
good to make sure we're buying decent game for once.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So I do think they're necessary to highlight the people who deserve it. They deserve they deserve like recognition for their work from the people around them.
Yeah, and
Right, Ian?
I agree. Yeah, 100%.
I know I'm going to get 2v1 on this topic. I personally don't think they're necessary. Not for the reasons you expect, though. Ian, you brought up the point that there's not a space that we didn't have where gamers could come together and say, oh, well, that's the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can argue that and say that's in the PlayStation showcases and Nintendo Directs. They highlight indie games there a lot. Hell, most of the state of plays are indie games for PlayStation. Nintendo Direct, I think, is sometimes mainly Smash Brothers. I haven't... Like, the last time I watched Nintendo Direct was Smash Brothers.
Oh, Jacob, is it okay if I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So when you say the Game Awards, do you mean just like awards, like rewarding games in general, or do you mean like just the actual show called the Game Awards?
That's a decent question. Let's put that to a vote. How do we want to roll that? Do we want to make it just the show or as the big medium in general? What do you guys think?
Yeah, probably the show.
Just the
The
show?
show makes sense. Yeah.
All right, so let's just stick to the show. We probably should have clarified that before we started recording. But, yeah, whoops. That's an oversight. But yeah, I would argue that we do have kind of places where people can come together and say, well, I do like this, and maybe I want to go get this. Well, Ian, you are right in saying that there is not a chance that, well, let's say we don't have the Game Awards in this universe. What's to stop people from getting out shitty games? You're right in that area, Braden. But once upon a time, we had something called E3. And E3...
Different name.
But still, can I continue?
Mm-hmm.
E3 once was a time where it was Xbox, I think even Dreamcast had it at the time. Nintendo, Sony, everybody, all the big hitters. were just there and they were celebrating gaming. And that's why I'm arguing that point. But it's canceled now. So this argument's kind of null and void. But to Ian's point, I want to throw this back to you. I do think there are spots where people do celebrate gaming in their own way. It's not on Twitter. You probably shouldn't go on Twitter. That's just a minefield waiting to happen. But I think the gaming awards aren't necessary because it gives studios like EA and Microsoft, when they get awards for, let's say, best visuals on, let's make an example, best visuals for college football. What's to incentivize them to not make the same game? They're not going to make any improvements if, oh, well, this is award winning. We don't have to change things. I mean, there's reasons why. And then I want to ask you both, because this is like a catch-22 scenario. If we didn't have the Game Awards now, do you think there's any improvement in video gaming?
Well, to counter your last point where you said, like, oh, if a studio wins, they're not going to improve. But if that studio doesn't improve, then every other studio who didn't win will improve. So whoever wins, it just kind of makes every other studio that didn't win kind of want to be like, well, that's our competition. We should strive to get even better so we win next year.
Almost kind of like a hold my beer scenario.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So I think it definitely promotes competition.
Yeah, and I think that's healthy competition, too.
Yeah, definitely.
And Braden, I thought you were going to say something. I cut you off, did I?
Oh, no, you didn't. I was drinking a smoothie.
Oh, I just saw your little circle. I saw your circle light up, and I was like, oh, shit, I shouldn't have talked there.
Oh, no, I was doing something else. Don't worry about it.
All right, sorry about that. But, yeah, that's a good point, Ian. Iron sharpens iron is probably the best way of saying it.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see the argument where, like, there's a lot of arguments to be made that in certain contexts, like, do we all remember last year's Game Awards where they had that extremely cringy mobile ad?
Yeah, it took like 8 minutes.
It took 8 minutes of the show up. It's I'm not talking about, like, this is what I'm talking about. I should be more specific. I'm talking about the ads inside of the video game. I feel like the Game Awards now is just a glorified state of play. Or glorified showcase.
Yeah, but with worse games.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, people are tuning in, and I literally see in the comments from time to time, oh, well, I only tune in to Game Awards just to see who, like, what gets announced, or see if my game I want to see is getting announced. It's like, if that's what people are tuning in for, why hold them? You know? This could be something behind closed doors. Like, Ian, you bring up iron sharpens iron. Mm-hmm. You could still have Game Awards, but it makes, like, I looked into this before we started, 10% of the actual player vote only goes into it. Everything else is, like, IGN, Game Rant, Game Ranks. Name a video game company, like, video game newsletter, they're probably on the jury to vote.
Yeah.
And they hold 90% of the share of who wins. And that worries me because IGN has been accused, and even multiple employees have come out and said they've taken bribes to get a paid review. So, what's stopping a game developer from saying, hey, give us really good reviews so we can get on the Game of the Year ballot? Like, there's a lot of holes in this system, and that's why I think maybe we need to, if the game, like, let's say you're leaning me towards two, yes, they are necessary. Maybe we work the system a bit. Like, make it, like, not 10%, because that's not fair. 10% is, like, nothing. Then you might as well just remove all votes from gaming, you know? Like, for all gamers.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think I don't think the player vote should be more than 50% because it's super easy to like
It can
bot
cult.
the votes. Yeah, it's so easy to like just bot the votes and whatever. Yeah, I definitely think that system should be changed. Give more people, give it more to like the players who actually play the games a vote, and definitely less ads. I think there's way too many ads.
Ugh.
There
No
should
more
just be less.
8-minute mobile game ads.
Yeah, that's just pretty bad.
That was rough. I remember we were all playing a game when we all watched at the same time, and I forget who said it, but I remember just saying, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, it was pretty atrocious.
Was Jack Black in that? I forget. Someone. It was like a big name that we were like, "How did you get roped in this?"
I forget. It was something like that though. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it had to be him because that had to be like the height of the Jack Black era with video games.
I think it was Vin Diesel or something.
That might have been it.
It was It was actually the worst Game World review. Like you wait till like the end of the show and it's a Fast and Furious game.
I
So-
remember this. Yeah, and they say, and now, and I remember it was even that, and we got one more thing. And people thought it was going to be this big deal. And it was fucking Fast and Furious. And the game ended up being terrible.
Yeah, I got 30% on Metacritic.
It's like, how do you, only the Game Awards and a game like that could pull shit. And that's why it becomes almost stupid. Like, I wish they would say, hey, here's the games that are going to be announced. Like, that you can guarantee. God bless you, by the way. Like, here's the games that we're guaranteeing to show you. But here's how many surprises we have. That's kind of what I want them to do. So people don't go in of enormous expectations. Mm-hmm. You know? And like, if I were to have the game, you brought up the player vote earlier as well. Mm-hmm. If I wanted to rework it, I would make it 75-25. Not too much, not too little. Kind of in the middle ground there. 50 is a bit much. I think so is 30. But at least with 25, you give gamers still a voice. You know?
That's fair. Yeah, I agree with that.
Brayden, what do you think? What do you think the player vote should be?
I think what Ian said is pretty accurate summation of what my thoughts are.
Yeah, just like not less than 50%.
Yeah,
because it's so easy just to like bot the votes and whatever, just make whoever you want to win.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
When it's like I give Jeff Knightley all the props in the world for doing this, and it's like just saying that, guys. Now you have changed my mind on the whole Game Awards thing.
Mm-hmm.
I give him props for doing this on how well he can orchestrate shit like this because it cannot be cheap. And I'm sure sponsorships probably pay for most of it. But I think like that an 8-minute sponsorship. Come on, better paid for a lot of money.
It has to be a ton of money, and I think in recent years it's been a little rough. You know, you've had the one dude from God of War who went on like a 20-minute like talking rant, and so like in the future years he kind of like ruined it for everyone. So like they're really worried about keeping everyone on time, but to kind of like give like maybe some hope for the future shows after last year whenever the clip released of the guy from Baldur's Gate with the thing that says like wrap it up.
Yeah, please.
Jeff Keighley within the week he was like, you know what, we heard your response. We're gonna next year we'll make it better. We'll make sure the people have time to talk. So there is hope. Jeff Keighley seems like he knows what he's doing. I feel like he knows what people watching.
Is it Keighley? I always thought it was Knightley.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
Is it?
I can't remember.
Let's go by Keighley. I'm going to trust you on this one. And if it's wrong,
I don't even remember.
If it's wrong, I get
All
to
know
play
is
you.
Jeff. Yeah.
But
But
if it's wrong, blame me and everybody.
yeah, Jeff's something. But he seems like he knows what he's doing. He seems pretty active on Twitter. He taken all the feedback, so hopefully this year it'll be much smoother and better.
Speaking of Keeley on Twitter, he have you seen his Twitter feed lately?
Mm-mm.
He went heavy on the promotion on the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, like it got to the point where people were just like, okay, he got paid.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's like, this is what worries me. That's why I hate shows when new consoles come out. There's gonna be a trailer. You can mark it here now. There will be a trailer guaranteed showcasing every video game that'll be optimized for the PS5 Pro. Someone's gonna think it's the next big thing, and it's just gonna be, oh no, optimized for the PS5 Pro. Like, make that make sense. That's why I hate new consoles coming out. Like, at least with you have a new console like the Nintendo Switch 2, you could have, it's like, oh, it's exclusively available on the Nintendo Switch 2. They're giving me incentive to buy that. But like, that's why I would love to see a trailer. Maybe if down the line I have enough for a Switch 2, I buy that with that game. It gives me reason to do it. But I'm not going to shell out $700. We all, I think, agreed on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, there's even, when I was looking around online, just the topics to talk about, yes, that's kind of what you got to do now when you're a gaming podcast. You kind of got to know a copy of it. But whenever I was looking around, there was an article, I think it was Game Rant. It was Game Rant or IGN, saying, who's the PS5 Pro for? Like, and I agree with them. Who is it? I can't name a certain person.
Yeah.
I guess Jeff Keighley does. I think he obviously advertised the living hell out of it. But yeah, it was like 8 tweets. But I feel like he does know what he's doing. But Sony's going to have a heavy presence this year. Brayden, I want to let you talk in a bit, so what do you think? Do you think the big console reveal is going to impact any trailers coming up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, do you think there's going to be any new trailers or is it going to be all like, oh, this is optimized?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think realistically that's what they're gonna go for. But hopefully I want them to reveal something new. They'll probably have like one new game and be like, oh yeah, all these other games are available now. That's what I think they'll do.
And the shitty situation is November 17th is the end of voting. That's the end of qualifying, I'm sorry. I don't know when the end of voting is. But if your game comes out that you like on November 18th, you're kind of effed. Sorry. See you next year.
Wait a whole year. Yeah, that's kind of sucks.
Yeah, so you can have the best game out of all of them. But it's like, well, you're a day late. Sorry. But like, people are already talking about Game of the Year, like Black Myth Wukong. Like, they say that game is amazing. Astrobot is another Game of the Year possibility. It's going to win Best Platformer. I love that game.
Did Mario Wonder come out this year or last year?
That is a very good question. Let me look it up for you. But it sounds like this year's thing. Because the only reason why I say that was the trucker convoy was in 2022, and I completely forgot that happened. So that was a long year.
Yep.
Mario, what was it, Mario Wonder?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mario Wonder came out in 2023.
Okay, so it's not winning, unfortunately.
I don't think well, it all depends on what the date came out. Did it come out? It came out on October 20th, so it would have been nominated. So yeah, it's not available to come this year. Which I do not like that rule. I think it should be up to the end of November, and that's it. Because you have the show December 1st. Or like,
yeah, it's gonna be Astrobot and Black Myth Wukong, and literally nothing else.
I think Call of Duty might sneak in there.
Who?
Call of Duty.
Hey.
Ew.
I mean, I just think it's one of those things where you have round-based zombies back. Like, a lot of people are going to be like, you gotta throw it in there just for publicity.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I want to bring up as well. I just thought of this. Do you think some nominees are just for publicity?
Like which ones?
Like, I think, I remember Last of Us 2 came out one year. The year came out and it won Game of the Year.
Hmm.
But the hands down favorite was Ghost of Tsushima. And when Last of Us 2 got announced as the winner, a lot of people were shocked. So, do you think maybe Ghost of Tsushima was like a lead, like a filler almost? Like, not like a filler, but like a, hey, we kind of know Last of Us Part 2 is going to win. But you get what I'm trying to say, right?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Brain. Sorry.
Yeah, just like how like you watch the Oscars, there's like one movie that you know is gonna win, and all the other movies are just kind of filler. It's kind
Yeah,
of
it's
that.
like a filler vote. And
Yeah, they just kind of like pick like, okay, which ones were technically the best of the year, but it's pretty obvious. And I think for the Last of Us example, that was another example of the player vote only being 10%. If it was higher, I don't think it would have won because people just didn't like that game straight up.
I
But, like,
am
critics
convinced.
loved it.
Yeah, I'm convinced it's just because Joel died.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Easily. Yeah.
If you look at the story overall, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Gameplay's really, really good. It looks really good. Like everything's there. It's just like certain decisions people didn't like, but critics loved it. So I definitely understand why that one won.
Yeah, the like as soon as like critics like start giving it a lot of praise, it's like how you know it's gonna end up being on the
It's like, yeah, there it is, kind of.
Yep.
It's almost like the Rotten Tomatoes situation. Just because something's loved by what's it called, critics, doesn't mean it's going to be loved by the people watching. You know.
Oh my god, there's a spider in my house.
Oh my god, better go kill it.
Kill it, boy.
Yeah.
You okay over there?
No, I got bit.
Oh. Well, let us know if you get superpowers.
Spider-Man.
I wonder, did that get nominated at all for Game of the Year?
No, yeah, that did.
I think it did get nominated, but you know.
Because I remember people being mad that it didn't win. Like some people got mad.
Oh, you're right. I remember, like it didn't win, and I think Hogwarts Legacy was another. I kind of figured this wasn't going to win Game of the Year,
Yeah.
but people were pissed it didn't win a single award. And if you look at that game, it's gorgeous. Like the detail in that game was incredible, even like down to like the last painting. Everything moves. It's almost like it should be like a PlayStation 6 type of game.
If you were to choose any Nintendo game to win Game of the Year, which one should it be?
We talking any generation?
No, this generation.
Like a Switch game? What do you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, like a Nintendo game that came out like this year. You know, like for example, say that new direct. Like you remember that new direct that came out? Like which of those games would you want to win Game of the Year? Because I feel like Nintendo never like actually wins.
I have to look up Nintendo games coming out this year. Nintendo games 2024. Honestly, looking at some of these, I don't know if it's going to come out in time. I hope it does. Disney's Epic Mickey. I'm sticking
Maybe.
by that because I remember that being a decent game back then. Yeah, laugh at me all you want. I don't care. I think that it's looking at.
Actually, like,
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I like Epic Mickey, but I like don't really think that's like
Game of the Year material.
yeah.
If we're looking at name brand, I see Super Mario Party Jamboree and Legend of Zelda actually getting on there. If that's what we're going by name.
I think a dream win for me would be Mario and Luigi Brothership.
I'm looking at that
that'd
now.
be tough. That'd be so good. I can't wait for that. Those games are so fun.
You could definitely tell when there's like an upset. Like if also another thing that kind of annoyed me, and this was just completely random. This is like a random thing. I'm sorry, but one thing that always annoyed me the most was they say we're gonna show esports on the stage, and then the stage ends up just being the pre-show. It's just like you what? Why have them then? Like why have the awards voted there? I mean, you're winning millions of dollars in trophies every year. Like League of Legends has $1 million trophy every year.
Yeah.
I don't think we need best live streamer, like a best Twitch streamer. Like Ian, you said it earlier. It's about the game developers. Do I think game publisher? Like, I see the logic behind it. Like, we wouldn't have Five Nights at Freddy's without Markiplier. Let's call a spade a spade. No one would know what that game is if it was without him. He even calls his house the house that Five Nights at Freddy's built. I mean, we wouldn't have that without him. So I can see why they want to showcase content creators. But if you're gonna do it do it right. You know, like if you're gonna do it right, like everybody else. Don't give them like 20-minute talks. Like don't give them 10-minute talks. Like, it's like, okay, hey, thank you, I won the award. Now, good night, type of situation.
Right.
Like, but when it comes to Game of the Year, I feel like that's when you should have the free reign. You shouldn't have a time restriction. Well, you should have a time restriction. They only can go so long. But, like, it's one of those scenarios where it's like, I don't see the point of it. At the same time, I see why it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of games wouldn't be around without certain people. And that's why I brought up Five Nights at Freddy's. No.
I think necessary. Sorry. I think it's necessary, but I think it definitely slows down the Game Awards a lot.
It's like you almost could announce them on the website.
Yeah.
It's like that's with a lot of categories too. It's like, oh, here's the best. Like I'm thinking, I just want to see what the best gameplay is, and now it's like, oh, here's the best score. It's like, oh.
What you could do is you could be like, oh, the most influential people are the ones who are presenting the Game Awards. Like Markiplier is like, oh, best like horror game or something. You know, that'd be kind of tough.
There you go. That's one way working around it.
They kind of do that already, though. No.
Well, yeah, but it's like they like try to put celebrities into it and stuff, and it just doesn't really
like
work.
More. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious
like
to
just
see what.
focus.
Like I think last year they announced Blumhouse Games. Is that last year? Because
was last year the one with the Jordan Peele announcement with Kojima? I can't remember if that was Game Awards or not.
I think that was the Game Awards.
Cool. Yeah, that was cool.
Those two are going to cook something extremely weird up.
Something devious. That's going to be so good.
That's going to be like Death Stranding level shit.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I cannot wait for Death Stranding too. That's good. That's not going to win Game of the Year, but I feel like that's going to be up there.
Is that coming out like around the same time? Like when is that coming out? Is that coming out to the point where like it could be nominated?
It's not coming out till next year, I think. I think 2025 was like the estimated release date.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Let me look it up. I'm just gonna type in DS2 because, or it just decides to bring up the Nintendo DS2. All right, I got typing in Death Stranding too, but yeah, I'm thinking 2025 is probably our best story, like best time to release it because there's so much coming out already.
Yeah.
Release date 2025. It got announced on December 2022, and the release date window is 2025. That's according to Google.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens for certain. I forget when Alan Wake 2 got announced. Was that a Game Awards announcement?
That was last year, yeah.
And then Alan Wake 2 came out, and it was just like amazing.
Yeah.
One thing I do like is when developers show trailers and they go, "Oh, by the way, when you get home, you can download it."
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Those are the cool type developers. Like, and it's like, or better yet, it's like you can't get the full game yet, but you can get the demo, and you can play it. You can play the demo that we have here at the game, like, right now. It's like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, stuff like that's always fun for those types of shows.
And I feel like that's why indie games, like, I feel like best indie game is a big category.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's a necessary category.
I feel like when the next Hollow Knight game comes out, that's like a guarantee win.
Is
Just run them.
there a Hollow Knight game coming out?
Yeah.
Silk Song, yeah.
I didn't know that. The more you know, huh?
Yeah. I know. It's been in development for 6 years.
But also, this is funny. I can see Ian going through Spotify on Discord. But not Ian, Dylan. Dylan's going through Spotify on Discord. Hopefully, we get him this episode because I want to get his takes.
Dylan?
Why are you listening to Booty Brown, bro?
So much wrong with that statement.
True.
But yeah, back on topic. I do think, like what you guys are saying, there are some stuff that are just like, yeah, it's nice to have, but most influential gamers, like or the people that won an awards like beforehand, they could be the ones who's getting awards during the main show, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, say, I don't know, Dr. Disrespect ain't getting an award at any time now after what happened with him. I'm not going to tell you. If you want to look it up, go ahead. It's just, it's rough, that's all I'm going to say. But let's say he won an award, and it was in the pre-show. He could come out and present an award to somebody. Like, that's just a good way of acknowledging, hey, he presenting the award, person that won this award, he's now presenting the best score. It kind of covers two birds with one stone. Like, does that make sense? I feel like I've awarded that per.
Yeah.
Award. Okay.
No, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's one of those things where they make it too complicated. And I think, Braden, you nailed it on the head. Some of these sponsorships are just absurd. It drags out the damn awards. Like, you can, I think those game awards could be done in 2 hours if you didn't have any sponsors. Or like,
How long is it usually?
I think I remember 1 year being 3.
Damn.
Yeah, it was. I think 1 year was 3 hours. Because I remember I was at a theater watching one of them. I was at a Cinemark theater, by the way. Yeah, gotta represent the brand. And I saw Kingsman. Then right after that, they did the Game Awards. And it was still going by the time I left, and it was like 12 o'clock, and it started at 9. So, yeah, it was a long. It might have been towards the end of the show either way, but still. I don't know when this was. I forget, when did the Kingsman come out? Was that 2020?
I think so, yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah, so that's probably the Last of Us year. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff that I guess could be tweaked, and that's what's. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Jacob. I had to go off track. But like, did you see Two Hearts or Honest Thief in 2020?
No,
What about The Empty Man?
you're gonna get a lot of no's from me here, buddy.
Okay. Not even War with Grandpa?
No.
Okay.
Are you making these names up, or are these actual movies?
I made most of them up.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I cannot tell with you sometimes. Sometimes I can't tell if you're being dead serious or not. Like, just let's go off script for a bit. He tries to just so like the audience will get a behind the scenes look at what happens. He will 100% try to convince all of us because I'm a Life is Strange fan, that the Life is Strange TV show that was a rumor a long time ago is still being made.
Yeah, I'm a massive liar. Don't trust me.
Don't trust what he says. Even when he's on this podcast, don't trust what he says. But, yeah, it's just like, that's a little bit behind the scenes stuff. I'm trying to think what else is fun behind the scenes. We also yell at each other a lot. It's a very toxic work environment.
True.
Yeah.
We'll sue one day.
If you ever see a lawsuit pertaining to me, it's very toxic. This is totally not a joke. This is totally not sarcastic, by the way.
It's not. Please help.
They're being held against their will.
Well, yeah.
In all seriousness, though.
Let me go.
In all seriousness, no. I just wanted to do that because I feel bad when I can't have more than like 3 or 4 people on, and I just want to have let people know what goes on behind the scene. And it's all good fun. I love having people here. It's easier to do with more than one person because you're not talking to yourself. Yeah, whenever you talk by yourself, you sound like an insane person.
Yep.
But yeah, and I think that's probably why this the Game Awards episode is probably easier done in the group, because I would probably be making such a shitty case of myself. I will look back at this episode and be like, yeah, no, this isn't airing. But the way that you guys were able to save this face for this episode was like, oh, thank God, we actually salvaged this thing. Speaking of salvaging things, we got... Oh, good.
Sorry, I just hit my finger.
Oh. I thought I heard now what. But we're at 37 minutes. We could go until Dylan comes back, or we could cut it and give our final thoughts. What do we want to do?
Dylan is back, I think, actually, though. Dylan, if you want to say something?
Yeah, Dylan, any opinions?
Yo, what's up?
He's back!
Hey, what up, Dylan?
All
Didn't
right.
wash his hands, so you know.
Yeah, did you wash your hands?
What? That was like 30 minutes ago, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been here the whole time?
Didn't say anything.
Maybe, perhaps.
Really?
Okay, so I guess we're not giving our final thoughts yet. We're probably going to be going an hour.
Okay.
Let's get Dylan in a bit. Dylan, so what did you hear and what did you not hear?
I got back and talk about Mario Wonder on that time.
That's how long you've been here?
Oh,
We were at like
Yeah,
the 15-minute mark by then. Dude, you could have spoken up.
But
True.
I was busy.
doing what?
Wouldn't disclose that information.
Yeah, let's not
Okay.
disclose that. I'd rather not. I want to keep this podcast, you know? We're almost at 3 years. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's decided to not get me canceled. But, in all seriousness, Dylan, we were talking about, while you were gone, this is early on, how the gamer vote basically has no impact on the votes for, like, Last of Us 2, Game of the Year, and shit like that. The way the voting system works now is 90% goes to news outlets and 10% goes to gamers. The reasoning behind that is because they don't want single-platform games to be at a disadvantage. We said that they should bump that up to, like, less than 50% still. I said 25. What do you think?
No, it should be like 70-30 fan to company.
You think? You think 70-30? Fan?
Yeah, 70-30. Well, fans play the game, do they not?
That's
They
a fair,
wouldn't know.
that's a
But you
fair
can, like,
point.
You can just like bot the votes though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but half the news people are probably getting bought anyway.
Yeah,
Don't you
So
go back
it's
to the
like,
thing.
you can't really buy fans.
I
Go back
actually
to the
brought that
toilet,
point.
buddy.
Hey, we were trying to keep that out of this episode. Come on. Now I gotta
it's
now I
okay.
gotta
They
read it
figured it out.
explicit. Yeah, they put together the context clues. Don't worry. Our audience is smart. But in all honesty, yeah, I think that's actually not a bad idea either. If you look at the long end, companies get paid to get, I think, an early access copy. They do it, they did a review, and they probably just put it down. The gamers are the one that stick around. So I see why you have a good case with 70-30, 60-40. You know?
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, you think the news people are getting the plats? Nah, it's the fans.
Yeah.
Think about it.
It's like, they're not the one putting in, like, 1,000 hours of a certain game. No, they're not. They might be on their free time, but on company time. Yeah, I brought this up earlier, like when we first started. They swayed my vote. I said, I didn't think the Game Awards were necessary until they kind of brought out. It's like, oh no, here's why they are. And I was like, oh shit, I look like an idiot now. And I'll hold myself to me being a stupid idiot on that one. But I wanted to get your opinion on this, Dylan. Do you ever think there's fillers for certain categories?
Yeah, of course.
Like, for example, Game of the Year, Last of Us, 1. I don't know if you could pull up old nominee lists, but I remember Ghost of Tsushima was the heavy favorite. And Last
That
of
was
Us,
my favorite.
yeah, and I played both, and both of them are incredible. And Ian, you brought up the fact that the gamers just hated it, but because critics loved it, obviously that's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes you wonder if there's an alternate timeline out there where Dylan's idea is in place, where Ghost of Tsushima wins.
W Universe.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like maybe that's the correct timeline, you know? But I feel like it almost makes you wonder, do you think there's ever a tie? There's got to be a one vote, where it's like there has to be a tie at least one time. Like,
No.
you don't think there's ever been a tie?
Yo, I bet there was for Zelda and Elden Ring. I bet they rigged it low key.
I think Elden Ring had such a big chokehold on the community at the time. That's why I think Elden Ring won. Like, I think when it comes down to stuff like Zelda and Elden Ring, like you just said, they probably look at what had the biggest impact at the time. And Elden Ring was just the most talked about. So obviously, if Elden Ring wins, you're going to be looking at the Game Awards says, well, they're going to be talking about us now.
But I have a question.
Yeah, go
I have
ahead.
a question about can DLC be nominated for like Game of the Year?
I don't think so.
Because
I
technically, the Elden
that's a
Ring
separate
DLC that
category.
came out this year is like the highest rated game of the year.
I don't think so, but I think
Yeah, I don't know.
that can get... I think if they keep releasing DLC, Elden Ring can get nominated again. Not for Game of the Year, but from both Best Supported Game.
Yeah, like best ongoing or something.
I think,
Maybe.
because I think Cyberpunk won that. Brayden, turn the phone off.
Bring your DoorDash is here.
10 p.m. DoorDash. But, yeah, I think Cyberpunk won, like, Best Supported because they kept updating it.
Yeah.
And I think No Man's Sky won it, Fortnite won it, a few of them did. Yeah, I think Fortnite's they probably stopped nominating Fortnite because they could just constantly win.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think of like who would win Game of the Year this year. And then I was looking at the reviews, and technically the Elder Ring DLC, Shadow of the Air Tree, that's the highest rated one. So I didn't know if that could win or not.
That makes
Probably
me wonder
Blood.
when Blood and Wine came out for The Witcher. They say that because that's better than the base game.
Yeah.
True.
I wonder what happened back then. I wish they would do a category for DLCs, story DLCs. Because that
I mean,
would
there's
be
only
I know there's only so many, but that would be a fun category. Because Spider-Man 2 is rumored to have DLC. But, like, if you look at it now, yeah, you're right, Brayden. I guess it'd be very, very small. you'd have to choose certain. You have to pick and choose what events. Like I can see ongoing support this year being Overwatch because of the new hero being added and all different events.
Mm-hmm.
Fortnite because it's Fortnite, it's got to be there.
True, best game ever made.
I think Dead by Daylight has a shot because of Tomb Raider being added was a big deal, and now I think Castlevania just got added as well.
Yep.
And I would say Cyberpunk just got finished up, so that's Cyberpunk and its filler, and let's call it there. I feel like that would be a good lineup. Maybe Valorant, because they added in a few things to Valorant, but that's just me.
Maybe.
And I do think they're probably going to... I don't think they do best video game media anymore because I think the Oscars took that over.
I think so. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense of why they took it over, but yeah.
Yeah, I think they took over like best video game adaptation, and because Arcane won across the board that year, like best sound,
As it should.
And it's probably going to wipe before this year. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I need a release date for that.
Yeah,
I gotta hurry up.
I'm telling you, watch party, guys.
I'm down.
You might.
I will be there.
We'll just have to not be able to live stream it because we will be copyright striked.
Okay.
For something out.
People, this is how we plan shit. We just say what we want to do. Okay. That's usually how it goes. But okay, yeah. In all honesty, let's do finishing thoughts because we are at 47 minutes and my throat is starting to hurt. Dylan, give us a decent one because you are gone the longest.
A decent one. I just came in.
What's your thoughts?
Give us your thoughts right now, like on how the Game Awards can be improved. Brayden, what is going on with your
phone,
fucking phone?
Sorry, I was having a little trouble with my
Turn it
I was having a little
off.
trouble with my device.
Jesus.
So unprofessional, Brayden.
It's. I just want to know. Is it like trying to commit suicide? What's going on?
Yo.
It's not my phone, it's my other device that rings a lot. I don't want to say it here because we'll get canceled, but yeah.
You just got me
okay.
canceled.
You can turn it off though.
Yeah.
You can save it until after the episode.
But okay, so let's go. Let's rewind a bit. Okay, Dylan, how do you think the Game Awards can be improved?
A little bit more moderation.
Can you explain?
Explain that.
Poop boy.
Like, just I'm curious on how you explain that. Like,
Okay, just keep the order tight, and don't make it like have a nice order for it, and don't make it like go too long or too short. Make it nice, make it neat.
like make a nice short, like I guess like have a coordinated show. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Don't have an 8-minute trailer like we'd had last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. That's actually that's a pretty damn good thought. All right, Brayden, you're on the list. Let's go. Hotspot. Hey, we're here
Yeah,
because of you,
same
my friend.
Same thing that Dylan said. I agree with what Dylan said.
All right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to counter your point. I think longer might be better. And
True.
you guys have dirty minds. You know that? Just hear me out. This is my final thought. I feel like if you were to if they were to change up the show format so that it would explain why each game got nominated, I'd be happy with a longer show time.
I really don't. I really only go there to watch the game announcements. I'm not gonna lie.
I think a lot of people do, but I'm just saying, like, if they would have justified a longer show time, that would be the only way I could do it. that's my final thought. And bring us home. We're at the 50-minute mark.
I think overall, switch up the player votes, make it a little, or not player votes, just like the viewer, make it more impactful, and then I think the shorter the better. Honestly, keep it concise. Let the people talk, but keep it concise. Less ads. I know they have to do ads, but less of them overall. And then maybe I don't know what. Okay, what I think they need to do is for some of the categories, like they do like rapid fire, like bam this one won, bam this one won. I think they should do more of that and make the ones that have like the big long presentations just less of those, because some of them are just really boring. There's not much we need to know about. So I think having more of like the quick fire rapid ones will make it go much faster.
Speaking of
the faster the better,
Yeah,
Can I say one more thing?
Okay.
I just wanted to say, pick and choose like what like games you want to show off better, because like some of the games they show off are just so boring. You just wait for them to end. Like pick and choose what you want to show.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, they almost have a better game selection. Like I remember Jeff Keighley came out and said, "Hey, no Wolf Among Us 2 this year." It's just like, well, you just lost a shitload of your viewers because you announced that.
What's Wolf Among Us?
Telltale.
The best game ever made. You never played that?
No.
You're missing out, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, I played like the first episode and I never got a chance to finish it.
It's pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah, I have to get back into it. But
is it better than Minecraft Story Mode?
Anything's better than Minecraft Story
yeah,
Mode.
you played Minecraft Story Mode?
Not
No.
the movie though.
True.
We're gonna go see the movie, right?
We kind of
About
have
that.
to. We got to report on that low key.
We gotta get
Yeah.
a report on it.
I
That'll
think
be
I'm
the
busy
first.
that week.
That'll be the first movie review we did. We have to do.
I live on Borderlands. Yeah.
We should have. Oh, that's such a missed opportunity. We should have done Borderlands.
It's okay. We can do Sonic.
We could
Yeah.
do
We can
Sonic.
make up for the next time.
We got last time. But alright. That is everybody's final thoughts. So I think that means one final thing. That is it for this episode of the Uplifted Gamer podcast. My name is Jacob, also known as the Uplifted Gamer, and these are my best friends here. At least I consider them my best friends, but they consider me them. You ask them later on, I don't know. Find them on Twitter, wherever you want to find them. Guys, if you want to tell you. Tell them now, you can. If not, well, you want me to sign out?
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Alright, everybody say bye.
Bye.
See you later.
See ya.
See ya, and
See you
you guys
later.
have a great month. Bye-bye.